Hey, Riddle here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're a subscriber, I really appreciate it. Doing a quick little walk about the property. It is November 30th, and this video is going to be about protecting your intelligence. Protecting your intelligence. So, there's a really interesting comedy that was made in the 90s called Idiocracy. Find it if you haven't seen it. It's supposed to be a comedy, but it's actually quite terrifying because many of the concepts in it, I believe, are actually happening right now in society. And what's interesting is people in general would attribute intelligence to higher learning or genetic talent, genetic disposition to be able to absorb information, retain it, and apply it. But the human brain was actually developed, and the reason that our intelligence evolved and our brain size was due to survival and consistently being on the land and having to problem solve, because man versus nature was once a real thing, and you constantly had to come up with different methods to survive predators, eat, hydrate, shelter, tools, and of course fighting other humans. They're always a problem, right? So as we get into this this era of cyber everything and computer everything, many of our problems are solved for us, and we're living in this. Many people don't even go outside, and they don't work with their hands, and they don't work. And so they're literally seeing a decline in intelligence because people aren't having to problem solve anymore, and the brain is not being stimulated properly, and brains and intelligence is shrinking. Isn't that terrifying to think about? But it's not really that far-fetched, because it was just 15-20 years ago that we had to memorize everyone's phone number. And just that simple act of having to memorize hundreds and thousands of numbers, meaning individual numbers that make up the entirety of a phone number, in itself is an amazing brain exercise. I've made myself the promise several times that I was going to at least memorize, like my 10 closest friends' phone numbers, but no, I haven't done it. But that would be a great start, right? You can see the lack of intelligence also in society when it comes to the inability to empathize and to critically think. There's sometimes the biggest barrier or the biggest opponent of critical thinking is organized religion, because it demands blind faith, which is dangerous. Very, very dangerous, but that's how a very easy way to control the masses. And, it's human nature. It's really easy to be lazy. Just the fact that we have these computers with endless knowledge in our pockets now, and how often have you been in a crowd of people, or you yourself heard something that you didn't understand, or a vocabulary word, and instead of just looking it up right away and adding it to your knowledge base, you just whatever. And that is the problem. That kind of complacency is going to help turn humans into idiots. And not critically thinking, doing research, and respectfully reviewing qualified, educated people's research when you're trying to find the answer for something. That's also a very important factor to critical thinking, and the lack of not only understanding that knowledge, accepting that knowledge, but then applying that knowledge could have saved hundreds and thousands of lives in regards to this pandemic. But instead, people went with the blind faith and emotions and this weird cognitive dissonance, which has cost many more lives than what was necessary. But we have plenty to spare. But if you care about that kind of thing, if you pretend, if you prescribe, if you are religious, then, don't just talk the talk, get walking the walk. That's what I tell my Republican friends. So, watch Idiocracy. It's terrifying and hysterical, and try to add something to your life that involves problem solving. I have many things that engage me in problem solving. That's one of the amazing things about being a craftsman or an artist, and that's one of the most tragic things, that we've taken art and wood shop and such things out of our educational system, because art is a form of higher intelligence, and it does force one to problem solve. It takes math, and when we take that away from humanity, and of course take that away from our children, we are dumbing them down. So who wants to dumb us all down is the bigger question. And why would we as a society agree to that? Why? Okay, thanks for listening. It's just kind of a ranty video. If you have any interesting comments, please put them down below. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Please subscribe if you like to get involved in the big think. And that's it. Happy holidays. Be safe.